Your love handles aren't stubborn, they're simply misunderstood by everyone. Millions crunch, twist, and plank, chasing fat that never leaves. You've done everything right, yet nothing seems to actually work. Here's the truth nobody tells you about that stubborn fat. It was never about your abs or your workout intensity. Two hidden hormones are quietly deciding where your body stores. Today, you'll learn exactly how to shut that process down. 3 science-backed habits, none of them requiring a single crunch. Let's start by understanding why love handles even exist first. Fat doesn't randomly appear wherever you happen to gain weight. Your body is smarter, more deliberate, more hormonally driven than that. 2 hormones control exactly where your body decides to store. The first is cortisol, your body's built-in stress response system. Picture cortisol as an overprotective guard watching for constant danger. Lack of sleep, work pressure, emotional strain, even overtraining trigger it. Your brain can't distinguish a deadline from an actual predator. Thousands of years ago, this kept your ancestors alive longer. Today, it just keeps you storing fat around your midsection. Chronic stress and elevated cortisol are directly linked to belly fat, especially the stubborn kind, sitting right along your waistline and hips. But cortisol never works completely alone in this frustrating equation. Insulin, the second hormone, plays an equally powerful supporting role. Despite what you've heard online, insulin isn't actually your enemy. It moves sugar from your blood into muscles that need fuel. The real problem starts when your cells stop responding properly. This is called insulin resistance, and it changes everything quietly. Imagine insulin knocking and your cells slowly refusing to answer. Glucose has nowhere left to go except into fat storage. Your waistline becomes one of its favorite emergency storage locations. Here's where things get even more frustrating for your metabolism. High cortisol makes insulin resistance noticeably worse over time consistently. Insulin resistance then increases metabolic stress, feeding cortisol even more. These 2 hormones spin together like gears locked in motion. Meanwhile, your love handles seem permanently impossible to ever lose. But here's the encouraging part most people never actually hear. This exact cycle can be interrupted in under 60 seconds. The first strategy takes almost no time and 0 equipment. No gym membership, no cardio machine, no special diet required. Right after your next meal, do 10 slow air squats. That's genuinely it, and yes, it sounds far too simple. The secret isn't the squats themselves, but the precise timing. The moment you finish eating, digestion begins breaking down carbohydrates immediately. Glucose enters your bloodstream, and insulin rushes in to help. If your muscles aren't demanding energy, glucose lingers there longer. Your body compensates by releasing even more insulin than needed. The stronger that spike becomes, the louder the fat storage signal. This is exactly where your leg muscles become powerful allies. Your glutes, quads, and hamstrings are your body's biggest muscles. Even a few squats make those muscles demand fuel instantly. At a cellular level, they activate transport channels called GLUT4. Think of GLUT4 as thousands of doors swinging wide open. Your muscles start pulling glucose directly from your bloodstream themselves. Blood sugar falls faster, so your body needs less insulin. Less insulin means a noticeably weaker signal to store fat. You're literally redirecting energy away from your waist toward muscle. Research shows brief movement after eating improves blood sugar control. You don't need an hour-long workout to see real results. You simply need to move at exactly the right moment. Once insulin is handled, it's time to tackle cortisol directly. What you do the first hour after waking matters enormously. It may determine whether your body burns fat or hoards it. Those 10 squats aren't just burning a handful of calories. You're activating the largest glucose-consuming muscle groups in your body. Think about the size of your glutes, quads, and hamstrings. Together, they form the biggest, hungriest muscle groups you own. After eating, glucose floods your bloodstream from your recent meal. That glucose has exactly 2 possible destinations available to it:
It becomes stored fat, or it fuels active working muscle. The deciding question is simple. Are your muscles demanding fuel? The moment you start squatting, the answer instantly becomes yes. Every rep activates thousands of muscle fibers working together simultaneously. Those fibers immediately start demanding glucose to produce usable energy. It's like flipping on a powerful vacuum inside your bloodstream. Instead of sugar floating freely, your muscles pull it in fast. Less glucose circulating means your body requires far less insulin. Lower insulin means a weaker signal telling your body to store. This strategy isn't about how many calories squats actually burn. The real benefit comes from redirecting where your meal's energy goes. Instead of feeding stubborn fat, you're feeding hungry, active muscle. Because it only takes 60 seconds, almost anyone can do this. No gym, no treadmill, no expensive equipment required whatsoever here. Finish eating, stand up, perform 10 slow, controlled air squats. If you work at a desk, the benefits become even greater. Stand once every hour and repeat another quick set of squats. Each time reminds your muscles to stay metabolically active throughout. But insulin is genuinely only half of this entire story. Another hormone quietly peaks before you've even eaten your breakfast. Get your first waking hour wrong and you fight yourself daily. Most people believe fat loss starts with breakfast or exercise. According to circadian research, it actually starts far earlier than that. It begins during the very first hour after you wake up. Every morning, your body naturally releases a healthy cortisol surge. This isn't inherently bad. It's actually completely essential for function. Cortisol acts like your body's built-in natural alarm clock system. It wakes your brain, increases alertness, prepares you for the day. Normally, cortisol rises after waking, then gradually declines throughout the day. The real problem isn't the morning spike happening at all. The problem is exactly what most people do immediately afterward. Picture your typical morning before your feet even touch the floor. You're checking emails, scrolling headlines, absorbing stress before fully waking up. Then you drink strong coffee immediately on a completely empty stomach. Each habit adds another layer of stress onto an already elevated hormone. It's like pouring gasoline onto a fire meant to burn briefly. Instead of following its natural rhythm, cortisol keeps climbing higher. Chronic elevation tells your body to hold on to stored energy tightly. Unfortunately, your waistline is one of its favorite storage locations again. So how exactly do you interrupt this frustrating morning cycle immediately? Start with something refreshingly simple within your first waking minutes. Within 10 minutes of waking, step outside into natural daylight. Even 5 to 10 minutes help synchronize your internal body clock. This signals your day has officially begun, letting cortisol rise properly. It then falls naturally instead of staying elevated for hours. The second step matters just as much as the first one. Delay your morning coffee by roughly 60 to 90 minutes total. This gives your natural cortisol peak time to settle first. You still get caffeine's energy boost without stacking extra stimulation on top. One final habit makes this entire morning routine even more powerful.
What you eat or skip early on shapes hunger and blood sugar. It directly influences which hormones decide whether fat burns or stores. Now let's add 2 simple habits that strengthen everything you've learned. Neither is expensive, and neither is some miracle overnight solution. Both have real research behind their effects on blood sugar. The first is apple cider vinegar, deceptively ordinary yet surprisingly effective. Its active compound, acetic acid, does something genuinely useful internally. Think of your stomach as the entrance to a busy highway. If food leaves too quickly, glucose floods your bloodstream instantly. Your pancreas then releases a large surge of insulin quickly. Apple cider vinegar acts like a traffic controller for digestion. It slows how fast food leaves your stomach, gradually releasing glucose. This often creates a smaller post-meal blood sugar spike overall. Some research suggests acetic acid activates a cellular sensor called AMPK.
Think of AMPK as your body's internal metabolic efficiency switch. When activated, cells become better at using available energy efficiently. The second addition is matcha, ground whole tea leaves concentrated fully. Unlike regular green tea, you consume far more active plant compounds. One heavily studied compound is EGCG, a powerful natural antioxidant. While not a magic fat burner, EGCG may support fat oxidation. It works best combined with a healthy diet and regular movement. Drink matcha plain for the greatest benefit, skipping sugar and cream. A squeeze of lemon works fine if you want brighter flavor. But remember, neither vinegar nor matcha fixes poor sleep or stress. They're not the foundation, they're simply small finishing touches. Real improvement comes from changing how you eat every single meal. And the next strategy might genuinely be the simplest one yet. You don't need to eliminate carbohydrates from your diet completely. You simply need to change the order in which you eat. Most assume improving blood sugar means giving up carbs permanently. But what if the same meal produced a smaller sugar spike? That's exactly what happens when you reorder your eating sequence. This approach is called the PFC method. 3 simple steps. Protein first, fiber second, carbohydrates always eaten completely last. Picture your stomach again as that same busy digestive highway. Eat bread, rice, or pasta first, and glucose floods immediately. Your pancreas reacts by releasing a large, sudden insulin burst. Now imagine eating chicken, fish, or eggs before anything else. Protein immediately changes the hormonal environment inside your digestive system. One released hormone is GLP-1, which slows stomach emptying significantly. It also increases feelings of fullness throughout the entire meal. You may recognize GLP-1 from popular modern weight loss medications available today. The difference here is your body produces it completely naturally. Next comes fiber, vegetables, salads, beans, and similar whole foods. Picture fiber as a natural filter, slowing your digestive tract down. Carbohydrates must now pass through this much slower absorption pathway. By the time you eat rice or potatoes, absorption has already slowed. That means a smaller blood sugar rise and weaker insulin response. One clinical study found dramatically lower blood sugar using this order. Nothing about the food changed, only the sequence mattered here. That's precisely why this simple habit works so remarkably well. You don't eliminate favorite carbs, you simply handle them smarter. Sometimes transformation doesn't come from eating less, but eating wiser. Combined with everything else, this creates a hormone-friendly daily routine. You might still wonder if food order really makes a difference. Surprisingly, the research answer is a resounding and consistent yes. Imagine 2 people eating the exact same dinner side by side.
Same chicken, same vegetables, same rice, same total calorie count. The only difference between them is simply the eating order chosen. Person 1 starts with rice, and glucose rises almost instantly. Blood sugar spikes quickly, and insulin follows right behind it. Person 2 starts with chicken, then finishes most of their vegetables. Only afterward do they eat rice, changing everything metabolically speaking. Same food, same calories, completely different metabolic response produced here. One study published in Diabetes Care examined this exact question. Researchers served identical meals, changing only the eating sequence used. When protein and vegetables came first, blood sugar stayed dramatically lower. Nothing was added, nothing removed, only the order changed completely. Protein and fiber work together to slow overall digestion naturally. Think of fiber as speed bumps slowing glucose entering your bloodstream. This gives your pancreas more time managing sugar without insulin surges. The beauty here lies in how practical this strategy really is. No special recipes, no expensive supplements, no avoiding restaurants required either. Eating a burger? Start with the meat before the bun. Having steak and potatoes? Eat the steak and vegetables first. Eating pasta? Begin with chicken and salad before touching noodles. The meal stays exactly the same, only the sequence shifts.
That's why this habit is remarkably easy to maintain long-term. You're not restricting yourself, just working with your biology intelligently. Combined with post-meal movement and a smarter morning, results compound quickly. Your daily habits stop fighting hormones and start actually recruiting them. Now let's combine everything into one simple daily routine together. The night before, lay out your workout clothes or walking shoes. Make tomorrow's healthy choices effortless before the day even begins. The next morning, step outside within 10 minutes of waking. Even 5 to 10 minutes helps your internal clock recognize daytime. This lets cortisol rise normally, then gradually fall as intended. If you're not fasting, eat a high-protein breakfast within 1 hour. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a protein shake work well. These foods stabilize hunger while supporting healthy blood sugar mid-morning. Give your body 60 to 90 minutes before your first coffee. You still enjoy caffeine's boost without stacking it onto stress hormones. Before main meals, consider water with 1 tablespoon of apple cider. Check with your healthcare provider first if this feels appropriate. Then follow the PFC method consistently every single time you eat. Protein first, fiber second, carbohydrates last, without exception, every meal. The moment you finish eating, stand and perform 10 slow squats. Those 60 seconds become one of your day's most powerful habits. You're directing glucose toward muscle instead of letting it linger. If you sit for long hours, take this one step further. Stand every hour, walk briefly, or repeat another quick squat set. None of these habits are complicated or require expensive equipment whatsoever. Together, they quietly reshape your hormonal environment, protecting your love handles. That's exactly why people who keep fat off rely on consistency. Not motivation, not willpower, but simple habits repeated day after day. Because the real secret was never another exercise or extreme diet. It's understanding how small daily actions reshape your entire body eventually. After everything we've covered, one truth should now feel completely clear. Your love handles were never actually the real problem here. They were simply the visible symptom of an internal hormonal environment. For years, you may have blamed yourself for lacking real discipline. You thought you needed more crunches, more cardio, more sheer suffering. None of that addressed the actual signals telling your body to store.
Think of your hormones as traffic lights controlling energy flow constantly. When cortisol stays high and insulin spikes repeatedly, every light turns red. Your body slows fat burning and redirects more energy into storage. But lower unnecessary stress, improve insulin sensitivity, give muscles a reason. Suddenly, those lights begin turning green, one after another, steadily. The exact same body that once resisted fat loss starts cooperating. That's why this entire system feels so genuinely different from others. It doesn't rely on perfection, it relies purely on consistency. 10 squats after meals, morning sunlight, delayed coffee, protein before carbs, choosing fiber before starch. None of these habits feel dramatic alone. Each one seems almost too small to matter on its own. But together, they create an entirely different hormonal environment inside you, one where muscles become the preferred destination for incoming energy. Remember, no single food caused your love handles to appear. No single workout will ever make them instantly disappear either. They were built through thousands of small decisions repeated for years. The good news is they can disappear the exact same way. One better meal, one smarter morning, 1 minute of movement daily, repeated consistently. That's genuinely how real transformation actually happens over time. Not through extreme diets or endless ab workouts done desperately, but through daily habits your body can realistically sustain long-term. Because lasting fat loss was never about fighting your own biology. It's about finally understanding exactly how your biology actually works.
Once you understand cortisol, insulin, muscle activity, and meal timing together, you stop chasing shortcuts and start building something that actually lasts. You start creating a lifestyle where burning fat becomes the natural outcome, not a constant struggle, not another failed attempt, but simply normal. The goal was never just losing your love handles for good. The real goal is building a metabolism that never wants them.